Hi, everyone. My name is Holly Herrera. Thank you so much for coming. Hi. I should say at the very beginning that I'm a very informal person. I mean, like really, really, really informal. So please, people always say, let's have a conversation. No, seriously, I need people to talk to me because of who I am. I use she, her pronouns, and I also put my Clifton Gallup strengths up. It all makes sense, right? I should have also put that I'm a Taurus Gemini, born on May 21st. Also Mr. T's birthday, so I don't know if you all know who he is. I hope so. So we're going to talk about analyzing the curriculum for transfer student success. I didn't put my title up here. It's really long. Let me take a breath. Okay. It is the Associate Provost for Transfer Initiatives and Academic Partnerships for Columbia College Chicago. It is the best job in the whole world. And I say that as a person who's had jobs, several, because I was a transfer student, and it means something to me to do that. So thank you so much for coming. I hope it meets all of your expectations, and if it doesn't, make sure to note that in the evaluation, and I'll improve. Trust me, I take feedback well. My husband disagrees with that statement. Okay, that's me. Oh, I should also say, all the pictures that I use in here are all Columbia students. They're all Columbia artwork. There's some faculty artwork in here too. I will mention it because it's so cool. And so I get really excited, and I move around a lot. So, okay, here we go. This is exciting. I'm gonna go over here. Setting the stage. Who am I? I told you who I was, right? But I was also a neo-traditional transfer student. Picture Holly Herrera, senior year of high school, Champaign Central. I was adorable, had a Dodge Shadow. It was raspberry red. It was amazing. I was also 8 months pregnant. I had my son 6 days after I graduated early. I graduated December 11th. He was born December 17th. So I attended Parkland College with a 6-month-old on my hip. I was traditional age, but I had a family. And in the early 90s, that was weird for people. They still didn't know, what's going on with that. It was strange. That influences everything that I do. Everything. I stayed at Parkland for 4 years. I took all the courses, 110 credit hours, my friends. I loved it so much. I took them all. 2.5 associate degrees. I'm trying to get that third one. The registrar at Parkland says I need to do an internship. Isn't this an internship? This is a practicum. Come on. Here nor there. Fine. But I transferred to my college, Illinois State University, where I pursued business. I feel no connection to that institution whatsoever. I'm a Parkland Cobra. I feel connection to my community college. Maybe that's because I spent 4 years there, but it's where I found myself. It's where I figured out who I was. It's where I stumbled. I earned that D in the legal environment of business. I turned 21 that summer. I shouldn't have done that. I should have taken that course over the summer. Or business calculus that was taught by my high school trig teacher. Shouldn't have done that either. But I don't feel any connection to my 2-year, or my 4-year that I spent 2 years at. You know how it works. And that's what I do at my 4-year institution that I work at, my baccalaureate granting. How can I make students feel a connection to this particular institution? Because I didn't have it. So that's who I am. I'm also an open book, communication woo, Taurus Gemini. So that's who I am. But I want to know who you are. How many of you here were transfer students? People. Okay. How many of you are from 4-year institutions? 2-year institutions? Oh, you're half. I know you. This side of the room. Okay, cool. Private institutions, public institutions, privates. All right. And publics. Wow. Aggressive. Okay. Awesome. That helps me understand a little bit. How many of you are on the academic affairs side? And, yeah, I know you too. Yeah, I'd like to know all of you very well. So by the end of this, hopefully we will. How How many of you on student affairs side? If we're user aid traditional, okay, perfect. This helps me. Anyone in admissions? Sure, enrollment. I mean, yeah, we can name ourselves whatever we want here. I mean, yeah, it's fine. Okay, that gives me a sense of who's in the room. This will really resonate with our baccalaureate granting folks because we're going to think about the curriculum. Who wants to share anything? Do you come to this presentation with a specific question in mind? And if you don't, that's fine too, because who's to know? Yes, please. The question is, I would really like to know how many people who work with transfer students actually know curriculum? Yes. Do people here feel like they have a good sense of your curriculum? Raise your hand if you feel like you do, because I'm not putting my hand up. Would you like a definition? Did I hear? No? Your curriculum is everything. Yeah. Yeah. Anyone else have any comments or questions? Oh, there's two hands skipping you in the back. Intersectionality. Okay, yeah.
If we work in a space where we're a part of the transfer lifespan,
You're not putting yourself in a box. No. No. Okay. So the statement is we wear a lot of hats when we work with transfer students. I kind of did that on purpose. Thank you for bringing us there. Yes. The question is, how many of you have had curriculum experience before you went to transfer? Are you talking about curriculum design or? This is not the advanced session. I'm going to need you to head right on out. You are not. They were great questions. Thank you. That won't be answered here. No, but yes, that's a great question on how many of people have been involved in understanding and curriculum, just discussion of what goes into creating curriculum. Do you want to use the microphone? I know you like to touch.
So I was just curious about how, I guess what I was wanting to know more about is how many people understand the impacts curriculum has on the transfer experience.
Yeah, that's a good one, right? I'm spending too much time over here. Do we have questions over here? People hoping to get certain things out of this? Outdoor voice, I like it. Okay.
from a 2-year perspective, I like to hear how the 4 years are seeing the curriculum and
Yeah, I'm sure everyone heard that, but how the 4 years are looking at the general education block that's coming from the 2-year and other major courses and just requirements within degree programs. It is important. Okay, I was meaning to write some of those things down. I love to take notes, but I didn't. Please remind me as we move forward of what some of these things were. So this is what we're going to do. This is my agenda. Don't keep me to this. I probably will not keep myself to this. If we go in a different direction, let's go there. If the group goes, let's go. I'm going to talk about Columbia just in general, the curricular audit process that we performed, and then how to leverage that audit to create institutional change. Sound good? Generally. Look at that. Okay, who's Columbia? Private nonprofit urban college in the heart of Chicago. I can look outside my window in my office and see Buckingham Fountain and the lake right there. It's gorgeous, usually when I'm there. Not a lot recently. We have a very generous admission policy to extend educational opportunity. We're welcoming and inclusive campus, practical application of the subject matter, and just over 6,700 undergraduates. And when we say practical application of the subject matter, it's hands-on learning. To describe our applied degree programs from the community college, the AASs, they're great fits for us. So, that's great for my community college partners. Ooh. Columbia has a very generous admissions policy. We don't require portfolios. We don't require, we're arts and media, so keep that in mind. No auditions required. We were completely open access just to a couple years ago because we recognize that not everyone has access to the same systems to prepare portfolios or auditions. We also want to recognize the community-based learning that happens for our students and population. So, but we were also admitting students. That's our admit, oh, the purple, all Columbia colors. We have 23 school colors. It's not a joke. It's not a joke. Yeah, 23 of those. There's 2 of them. And we had about, well, most recently 572 students starting with us in the fall. At the bottom, I have some, I'm gonna try this. Yeah. I have some little asterisks here. A couple schools closed that has impacted our 2015 and 2018 numbers, Harrington College of Design and Illinois Institute of Art, and we created programs with them. Just recently, the Flashpoint campus of Columbia College Hollywood is closing, and so we're creating agreements. So that's going to impact our 22 numbers. I don't want our admission numbers to be based on schools closing, though. So that's where we can get more into the curricular process. Here's the brief, oh, look at that. That's our convocation, our first day, our party that we have in Grant Park. Isn't that amazing? Oh, so this is what happened at Columbia, early 2000s. We had a good number. Then our provost froze articulation agreements. They said, we're going to focus only on freshmen. How do you think that worked, friend? Yes, please. Because we know that we're providing this education that we need every single semester, 4 years with them. We're so unique and special, we're unicorns. The best ones. No one else can teach anything like us. Are you kidding me? The experience, the hands-on experience. Anyway, whatever. You can see there was a new provost soon thereafter. To remember I'm being recorded. Directed formation of the ad hoc committee that focused on transfer initiatives and created my position, Holly Herrera. Here I am. Look at that, technology, arts and media school. So the committee, this is what they really designed, transfer friendly. What's it gonna mean for Columbia? Guide prospective students in the course selection process, build positive, mutually beneficial relationships, and attract and retain well-prepared transfer students. Yeah. That's what the committee goals was, and all that was really to create my position so that I can do these things. Fine, okay, sounds good. All right, this was all that you may have noticed that I was supposed to have a co-host. That was my registrar, Carrie Walters. Carrie unfortunately couldn't make it. This is the work she did. So here we go into uncharted territories, my friends. Here we go. So, what we did for our curricular audit, we ignored general education, only major required courses. Only. We recognized who has a stake in the curriculum. We identified those faculty, primarily, because oftentimes that's their course, that's their baby. They created this one, it's the best one. All the students should take it, it should be required in the major. Okay. So faculty, and of course students, and really when we get down to it, it's the institution as a whole, right? So everybody. It's a small, little, tiny thing that we did. And it was a starting point. Where could we improve? Where can we build partnerships? And we can have conversations about what's really needed in the program of study. What's really needed? Dance. Okay, this was a music video being shot in our student center. So much fun. Okay, I'm gonna ask your question, first question. What curricular aspects make transferring and graduating? That's what I really wanna focus on, the graduating part. Columbia has no admission requirements. None. 0. So graduating, it can be difficult for our students. So I put it out to you for your curriculum. What curricular aspects cause difficulty for your transfer students? Too many named courses. Tell me more about what a named course is. Yeah, so the answer is a very narrowly focused course that's required within the major. The favorite course is the best course. Yeah. Highly sequenced programs. I have an example of that one. We have a great one. Yeah, that's significant barrier for students graduating and even being admitted and enrolling. Yes, over here, not Ruth. Interdisciplinary courses that are really mission specific to the school, right? It's speaking to the vision. Could be whatever. Almost like a survey course, but no? What are you thinking of? You have an example you want to call something out? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm. Right. I can't summarize all of that. That was, yeah, but I love what you were saying. So I hope that everyone over here could hear it. Because, yeah, why do we always do that to ourselves? On the down low, put it in the microphone. Uh-huh. Mm. So they're just shifting it. Awesome. Yeah. Cool. So happy. No, but yeah, I need to know just how messed up it could be. Did you want to add something to that? She got it. All right. I see some things over here. Oh, a person I haven't heard from walking past Kristen. Walking past. I should offer. I don't know who wants to hold a mic, but.
So, private school.
Oh, yeah.
You're very well aware.
Maintain eye contact right here. Safe place. You're right here. One. Good job. Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm so weak. I'm gonna have to lay down on the ground. You're what? Florida.
They don't have that. They take it from you. They didn't come to the AA. Well, you didn't take it. So like you sit there and run circles, what are they going to do? How do they fill
can't. I quit.
You gotta take another science class. It's so asinine. Emphasis on the ass.
Best friend forever now. Yes. Oh, why? Oh,
Awarding veteran credit and vocational credit, we fought because we're
I. Yeah. I. Can we definitely talk? Because I think maybe we could do some work on that side. Maybe when we do this, it'll be cool. Yeah. Kristen. Gosh. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. 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 Right. Right. You know what I found fun when I came to Columbia? Because I came from a very highly rejective 4-year institution, land grant, the flagship campus, very rejective of ideas, of people, of everything. And it was very different. Columbia is so welcoming to transfer credit, so welcoming. It has programming in it. It's now programming 101. Is it? Should it be? I don't know. No, it shouldn't be. I have a little bit of a knowledge about that. That 100 level course, it has a good amount. Now it's a 300 level. Oh, weak. We tried. And, we're revisiting that. So I have another question, I think, after this one. How can a thorough curricular analysis support transfer student success? Anybody have any ideas? In the back. Yes. Agreed. You get the opportunities to partner so you can win. Finally, wins for transfer students. Yeah. Anyone else? I mean, that was pretty encompassing, but yeah. Yes. Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. Yes, and your opening for the comma, I was like, oh, that's gonna be my next tattoo. If you can change the curriculum, but I could put a whack-a-mole on there. Okay, all right. Thank you for bringing me to it. But yes, you're right. You're right. We focus so much on getting in, but it's the getting through. And let's look at ourselves. And I'm going to say that for 4 years. We need to look at ourselves because we're the barricades, we're the barriers. Fashion studies, fashion merchandising right there. Pretty cool, right? At Macy's. Ivan Brunetti, one of our faculty members in New York, the New Yorker. Okay, so this is what we did. Pulled the transfer data, and by we I mean Carrie, she's not here. So, we got buy-in from that new provost, the 2012 one, and the deans. We have 3 schools, so 3 deans. They created the form that you see in front of you, the first back and forth. And every department chair completed it. We put it in our system, what used to be our intranet. It was called Iris. Reviewed every single major in concentration. Asked them to look at how many terms to complete. Identify the gateway courses. And what prerequisites are actually necessary. Go ahead. Oh, anyone want to tell our friend gateway courses? I have a working definition. Yes. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah. And that's a gateway to history. Ah, okay, Western Civ. Yeah. And in our case at Columbia, arts and media focused, it can be the intro to graphic design. It can be, well, we'll talk about interior architecture here in a second. It can be a very specific course that's only offered in the spring semester of the sophomore year. When do students transfer? Fall of their junior year. Okay, that's great. There's that. I know that my presentation isn't in the thing yet, but it will be there. I don't know if you've met me. I'm a procrastinator. Examples. Here's one that was completed. Words, 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 stuff and things. Oh, I forgot about this thing. Yeah. Boom. This was a BA. We have 4 degree types: Bachelor's of Fine Arts, Bachelor's of Arts, Bachelor's of Music, and BS. It's a Bachelor's of Science. This one's Arts, Entertainment, Media, all concentrations. Total credits required for this major, 120, including all prerequisites. How many full-time terms? 3. We had a maximum of 16 credit hours per term, but we require 45 credit hours at Columbia to graduate. So there's our 45. Boom. Technically, a student coming into this major in 2013 could graduate in 3 terms. Cool, great, very transfer friendly. For a student coming in with 60 credit hours and their Gen Ed core completed. No deviation, Gen Ed core completed. So usually the associate in arts, right? Of course, remember I said that the associate in applied science is usually a better fit for most of our majors, so not helpful. Any questions on this? I'm going to go to a more difficult one. Yes, please. Great question. The question was this for major courses need to be completed in the major or for graduation? This is graduation. Yeah. I'll give Carrie that feedback. We should have used different things. Yeah. Perfect. Let me go to I like how I had them in different order and didn't change that one said B and one said A. Attention to detail on my resume. Yeah. For sure. So this one is a Bachelor's of Fine Arts, Interior Architecture. It is the most difficult major for our students to complete outside of American Sign Language, English interpretation. 128. Right there. 8 full-time terms for a student coming in. No courses in their major, all Gen Ed's done with 60 credit hours. And there's the terms. Anything sit with you in seeing what those credit hours are? Kristen? It's not full-time. Why do students need to be full-time anyway? For financial aid or maybe housing? Maybe their discount for their student insurance on their car? Maybe? Maybe for completion? So we got 3 terms right here that are full-time if we look at 12 credit hours, speaking full-time. Yeah. 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 They spent 2 years somewhere else, 60 credit hours, 4 years with us. This is because that's highly sequenced. You have to take this course, and there was plenty of concurrent courses as well. You must take color theory at the same time as you do the textiles. You must take the course that has AutoCAD and InDesign before you can get into your first design studio course. And one of those courses was offered sophomore year, spring semester. So if you don't transfer in at that semester, it was an additional year. Week, right? Week. Yeah, question. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so the question is that at their institution, they have an agreement with another architecture program in 4-year, but a student has to go in and talk. Luckily enough, this program is very interested, and most of the time, students are going interior architecture, have taken courses in interior design, maybe architecture, probably, and they may have a portfolio. And so they can have some things evaluated. It's not used for admission, but it's used for placement. But that happens so late. I wouldn't go to a place if I didn't know how my courses were going to transfer and how they were going to get done and apply to the degree and spend 4 more years. Absolutely.
So did this kind of a plan lead to course substitutions if students wanted to finish, they're going to leave if they didn't get
No.
so that was it?
Yeah.
They just walk away?
Yeah. Our students would leave. Yeah. Absolutely. No course substitutions really happen because there's nothing else they could take. There's nothing else that's offered anywhere. Right? It's not much better, but okay. Let's move away from that. Put your seatbelts on, friends. Okay. Well, this is Manifest. It's a party. We closed down Wabash Avenue in Chicago. It's super much fun. Okay. So, do you want to look at one? You want? I mean, you don't have to. You might have to. You already know how it works. I don't know how to click things in here. My technology has been done. But if you're in front of a computer now, you can go to catalog.colum.edu, majors and programs, and click on advertising. And we can kind of look at that. Oh, that works just like that? Lies. So, that's not going to happen today, friends. Look at me. I'm able to roll with stuff. It's a side effect of the pandemic. So what we would do is look at this advertising. Does anyone have it pulled up? And if you do, tell me how many, right there at the top of it, it'll say how many credit hours are required in the major. 46. Well, that means if we divide by 16, which is the maximum that we had at that time, we just approved 18 credit hours starting this fall. So that's exciting. Maybe have to be four semesters for a student to complete that program. 4 semesters. Wouldn't be full time, all of them, but okay. That's not too terrible. The second page went on to ask these questions. It would also have, it's not represented in your handouts, the transfer plan. Picture. I hate these. I hate them so much. If I was a transfer student and I was handed this, I create these all day. I hate them so much. Because I don't know if you can tell, but I'm not a grid follower. I don't do that. As soon as I deviate from a plan, then I'm off that plan. There's probably not any coming back for me. And so if I didn't take Advertising 101, which I would have, but consumer behavior that first semester, I'm off plan. I'm not going to graduate, it's fine. And I'm very nihilistic in that way. But this is in our catalog, and it shows what a student has to take every semester in order to graduate. We use that to build all of these. Any questions on how terrible this design is for an art design institution? Yeah, go ahead. Oh, you can. Okay, what? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh. You mean like sequencing? Intro to biology for non-majors. It's not the one you're supposed to take. So we heard that. And I want to push back on your faculty, which I want to push back on my faculty. But it's what it is this is for faculty. This is for administration. This is for us. Students don't always operate in this kind of way, right? Not always. Maybe we'd like them to. I don't know. But yeah. Is there another question that I saw or comment? Yes, please.
I will say the reason I help with that for students, if there are any sequence courses or prerequisites, I have a symbol that notates that that course has a prerequisite.
And then you have to look to the footnote and make sure you get the right one.
Yes, it's not as like great as I'm busy, but because all of them are kind of connected, so it can be broken out into semesters for classes, it helps provide clarity. And then maybe if you're thinking of one, when you're looking at a Christmas course at the community college, it helps come up with a course that has an art class, but then that course is not something you exactly offer, the community college is better. And so it doesn't exactly answer, but it's 10% elective, but it still kind of like
How soon do the students just glaze over as you're, because I mean, right? I mean, we have to think of ourselves and how students navigate these things. Yes, please. What? Mm-hmm. Oh, sure. Oh, for sure. Yeah. And part of the issue of our interior architectures program is from that accreditation that's on the outside of that. And same with our American Sign Language, English interpretation. Same thing. Yeah, go ahead.
based on outcomes. You need 5 courses for 5 outcomes. You have 3 outcomes embedded in one course. And so I
Think about creative approaches to meeting some of those outside accreditors. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well done pushing that. Yeah. This is the one for illustration. This is a Bachelor in Arts. 5 semesters to get that done. Now, to be honest, for a lot of our majors, students do their general education courses. And honestly, tell me an illustrator who's not going to take drawing 1. Somewhere, they're going to take drawing 1. So these things aren't even really, they're just out there just trying to show a picture. Are they helpful for anyone? I'm not sure. I think they're helpful for administrators. I think that's what they're helpful. But because of the curricular audit, to be able to look at what exactly is needed and identifying those gateway courses, the ones that must be complete in order to move forward, this is what it looks like now. But before this, it was another 7-semester program, a bachelor's in arts. Oof. What they did in this situation is they eliminated many courses. They removed unnecessary prerequisites or concurrent enrollment courses and put an or in there. Look at that, or in the 4th semester. 1, choose your own adventure. Oh, if you are on TikTok, get on @CharlieCurtisB. You're welcome. He is amazing and delightful. That's also at our convocation, always a student who, he's our first hip hop artist to do our song. Okay. Anybody have any courses you want to look at? Any majors you would like to talk about specifically? And really get into it, because I did give you a blank. I gave you a blank first sheet and I gave you a blank back sheet. Yes, please. Question. Well, that's what we defined it at our institution. Yes. That's a great question. So the question was, when we define transfer friendly, which we move away from, it's an outdated term. Transfer receptive is definitely more. What we did was we recognized that many of our students were having stranded credit or losing credit. So we upped how many transfer credits to 75. It's a good number, right? 75. And then, because we only need 45 at Columbia to graduate. So we're being more receptive for the AAS because that is what aligned most with us. Yes, that was a huge conversation that happened at Columbia to increase that. Huge conversation that went back and forth, and it happened because we needed to support the transfer students. They're not going to be happy if they lose credit. But how much of that credit's going to the program of study, to the major, and not just college-wide electives? Because now, with financial aid, we know that students have to take courses within their major. So, what are we doing? Come back next year. We can do a presentation on exciting things like that. Oh, I'm going to be so exhausted revisiting all of that. So we use the information from these audits to, get through those 3 items. We already discussed those, but it's also which programs needed articulation agreements to be more inclusive of transfer students. Interior architecture. If we can build agreements with interiors programs somewhere else and really get those faculty members into a room to talk about, okay, now where do they learn AutoCAD? Where? What do they do for here? And how is that embedded in this learning outcome over there? Oh, Columbia faculty says, yeah, we'll take those 2 courses to equal this 1, or to equal this 2, or to equal the 3. They absolutely did that. Absolutely. But it took doing this curricular audit. I'm going to go to the next slide because what we learned, our chairs are competitive. We put this out there. Who's already ready to be transfer at that term friendly? We put it out there. They're ready to go. Who's got a yellow, with a little bit of tweaking, maybe you would. Red. Ooh, we put it out there to them and let them get to work. Oh, I don't want those people over in fine and performing arts to beat me. I'm going to fix something. I'm going to make something a little bit better or more clear for our students. I loved that. Now, if anyone has the transfer experience book, I got it right here. There is so much wonderful things in here. I'm not selling this book. I'm not in it either, so I get no royalties. But there is a chapter specifically for chief academic officers. My only comment, in that chapter, is that he says, focus on the gen eds and fix those. We've been spending way too long. We've been doing this since 1901, friends. No. Focus on the major and what we can do. And for Columbia specifically, when I started, I heard there was only 2 people in missions working with transfer students. Says just get your gen eds out of the way. If they got their gen eds out of the way, they're going to be here for 6 semesters. Got to take things to your major and picture it, friends. You're a musical theater major. I can't sing, so I won't do it. You're a musical theater major, and someone tells you, just focus on your gen eds. You don't want to take any theater, no voice, nothing for 2 years. Could you imagine? I wouldn't go to that institution. So this research showed us that that wasn't a good fit for our students. And then we could share that with admissions, which I was able to increase to 5 people because, come on. So they can get to the students. Keep your heart into it. We'll work it out. Whole bunch of issues on placement and all of that. That'll be another session too. But if you want to check out the American Sign Language one that's in your package, yeah, even if a student completes an associate degree in American Sign Language, still 4 years, depending on their language acquisition. But it provided opportunities for earlier engagement with the transfer students And these pre-matriculation student communications, as soon as someone comes onto our radar that says, I'm interested in ASL English interpretation, our admission team starts to send out communications. That's a highly sequenced. You need to get involved with us right away. Let's talk. Same with interiors. Same with those others, our bachelors in music as well. It was empowering for the faculty to be able to take control and say, okay, maybe this wasn't as friendly as it could have been. What can I do? And it was put in their court how important it was to make the changes. So that might be my last slide. I've lost my thingamabobber. Graduation, look at that. I've never been to a graduation before. There's Aretha Franklin medley, dancing. You should see all the fashion studies students. They're amazing. It's so much fun. It's a pretty fun place. Thank you so much. What other questions do you have? We can go into, if you have an example that you would like to look at. Yes, Nicholas, award winner, Mr. DeFalco. Yes. So sometimes there's mistakes. I just want to mention to y'all that I printed out all of the degree plans, and I found about half of them with mistakes on them. We're all human, right? Sure. Yes, we have mission-specific courses. We have 2 courses in diversity, equity, and inclusion that students must take. They can only be taken on our campus. We also require Columbia Experience courses. For transfer students, 60 credit hours, we waive the first 2, the freshman and the sophomore. All students take the junior level. That's also a DEI course, 2 for 1. So they really take 1 additional DEI. Most of them are built into the major because everything we're doing with the diversity, equity, inclusion. At the same time, we actually revitalized all of our courses to have a transformational anti-racist framework. Columbia's pretty great. So then they really only have that one Columbia Experience course and just the DEI course. Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah, unfortunately with the DEI, that is something that we are too special in doing. Since we are looking at the transformation of the instructor and the student and the classroom as a whole, there's a whole framework on it. It's wonderful. Which is upsetting to a lot of our community college partners. When there is a diversity requirement, we still don't take that to meet our diversity experience. But we have made sure for all of our majors, there is an opportunity built in early so they can complete that requirement. So yeah. You're welcome. I think I might have just broke this. Any other questions? Anything I didn't cover that you really hoped that I was going to cover? Because I think well, we need to get back to the how many of you understand of curricular design and who gets into that. But yeah, I saw your hand go up. Oh, I like the term barometer. Cool. I took intro to weather. It's my science. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Why do you think I took 110 credit hours at Parkland College? I was like, I want to do that. Now I want to do that. Yeah. But how can we be clear and transparent to our students, right, of how this is going to impact your time to degree, right? Yeah. I feel like we're supposed to get out of here. I don't know. Hello. Okay, I presented. It was me first. I'll take any extras if people don't drink, Kristen. You just give me yours. Remember, this only happened in here, the drink tickets. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming. I really appreciate it, especially knowing that Carrie wasn't here. Thank you so much. If you have any questions, if you just want to be my friend, come on.